Hey, welcome to York County Marine. It is a windy, blustery, rainy day here in Virginia, and probably a good time to do a quick walk around video. We haven't posted one in a while, so let's talk about this classic 17-foot Montauk. She's a 2001, which makes her one of the last of the classics. Boston Whaler held on to the classic Montauk Hull until 2002. So the year after this was a split year. In 2002, you could have gotten the very last of the classic 17 Montauks or the very first of the post-classic 170 Montauk. We've had lots of both, and I'm sure you've seen many of them come and go. You've probably seen this particular one in our inventory. You might have seen the write-up that we did when the boat came in a couple of weeks ago. But let's hit on some high points. She's gorgeous. One of the nicest classic Montauks we've ever had, and that's saying a lot. We've had dozens and dozens of them. This one's just really, really nice. So she's a one-owner boat. She's a senior-owned boat and a freshwater boat and a garage-kept boat. And that's why the boat is so nice. It's just kind of the stars and moons all aligned when we found this one. So let's take a look. You know, we always want to look around the floor, the non-skid area down here for imperfections, and you can see in this area on most of your classic Boston Whalers, they're often checkered up and kind of alligatored, whatever you want to call it, a lot of crazing in the gel coat. There isn't any here. It's just beautiful. I don't like to use terms like perfect or like new. You'll never hear me say that because nothing is perfect or like new unless it's sitting there on the dealer's showroom. So I'm sure we could find an imperfection on this boat if we look far enough, but just the quick walk around, she's as nice as she gets, and nice as they come. Also, no bottom paint. I always talk about this. If a boat hasn't been bottom painted, you know it hadn't been sitting in the salt water. And we've already touched on the fact this is a freshwater boat, but just the fact that it hasn't been bottom painted means a whole lot to me. We seek out senior-owned boats. We seek out freshwater boats. We seek out boats that haven't been bottom painted. Boats that have not been bottom painted are generally more valuable than boats that have, for lots of reasons. All right, I'm going to try and keep this under 10 minutes, so let's keep going. As Boston Whaler was entering the mid-90s, they really began to understand that the whole teak and mahogany thing that they had been putting out there on the market for so many years was winding up. It was the public was kind of tired of seeing the same thing over and over again. Don't get me wrong, I love looking at someone else's teak and mahogany on their boat. Personally, I don't have time to redo teak and mahogany. So I was really glad to see Boston Whaler go into these transitionary years where they were starting to back out of teak and mahogany interiors and go to molded fiberglass. That's where the world was going, fiberglass. And another reason for that, besides the durability and the more modern look and keeping up with the competition that was, quite frankly, starting to walk away from Boston Whaler at the time, was also the world was starting to run a little low on exotic woods. It was getting harder to import mahogany in particular, and it was time to start getting away from that. Okay, let's talk more about the boat. She's gorgeous. Also, as Boston Whaler was going more fiberglass and less teak and mahogany, they were also doing a few other things in the late 90s to beef up these boats, to make them a little more modern. And one of my favorites is, which we started seeing this I think around 96 if I remember correctly, is a beefy rub rail. That might seem like a real simple thing to you, but if you look at all the other classic 13s, 15s, and 17 footers, the rub rail would stop right here, and it was a thin three-piece rub rail that failed often. There's a center channel in the classic 13, 15, 17 foot Boston Whalers rub rails. It's almost always cracked. You bump a dock a few times and they're gone. Well, they went over to the commercial side of Boston Whaler and said, give me that rub rail, because this is the type of stuff that Boston Whaler's commercial products division, the law enforcement, the military boats, what they were using and with great success. And they needed tougher materials. So finally, Boston Whaler started incorporating these things into the normal boats that everyday guy would buy from off the dealer's floor. So when we talk about molded fiberglass, we're talking about stuff like this. You no longer, the back of your reversible pilot seat is no longer made of teak. There's your doors down here to get into, your hatches to get into your console are made of much more durable materials with aluminum frames, and all of this again is taken from the commercial product side. So not only do you not have to redo teak and every year or so, but you've also got something that's a lot tougher and more modern looking to begin with. All right, another one that you might not think about on and I'm trying to remember what year this came around, but it was sometime in the very late 90s. We went to welded side rails and bow rails. So previously on all the older classic Montauks and 15 footers, 13 footers, whatever, if you had a rub rail, it was going to have a little T-joint right there and a rivet going through it. And they were kind of a pain in the rear end. They rattled and came loose, and the rest of the world was doing wells. So Boston Whaler, once again, they caught up. All right, what else can I tell you? She's powered by a Bombardier Johnson 90 horsepower. Bombardier bought out OMC when they went into bankruptcy, and frankly, they produced a better product. They made the E-Tech. This, however, is a two-stroke carbureted 90 horsepower Johnson. It's a powerful motor. They're very reliable outboards, and she's got very low hours, very low use, and she's very clean. It's going to make for a very fast boat. Two strokes, they spin up quickly, and they're lighter in weight, and they really, 90s really make these 17 Montauks jump up and scream. If we look over on the inside, you'll see that the non-skid is just beautiful. This area back here in the back of any classics Boston Whaler, the little diamond pattern non-skid down there is often all alligatored and checked up. This is not, and because it's been kept in the garage. It's very, very unusual to see a boat in this condition. Now, I'm going to stand up here and take a peek at the console. Another thing that you'll hear me prattle on about all the time is no holes drilled. When we're seeking out classic whalers, we don't want to see somebody that's drilled holes every couple of years for whatever was hot at the time. We'll generally walk away from a boat that has a lot of holes drilled in it for a host of reasons. So if you look up here, the only thing you've got is a Ritchie compass, and it was most likely installed by the dealer. There are no holes up here on this console anywhere. It's absolutely beautiful in the way that it would have been laid out by the dealer. Coming around here, you can see that we've got this little console door here. Again, this is made of modern materials. That's starboard and an aluminum frame going around. You're going to see a little bit of peeling here, which you'll see on pretty much all of these because they powder coated the aluminum, and it seldomly lasted too long. Super clean in there. Let's poke our heads in there and look around. Got a battery. Really clean wiring. Really nice. All right. This boat has the comfort package, the fishing package, and all that good stuff. So there's a bow cushion that goes up there we've got stored in this building somewhere. Everything is quite nice. Turn around, you have igloo cooler, the original cushion, and the backrest cushions, and the rod holder. So all that together creates the fishing package and the comfort package. The bimini top, which is over my head, is factory as well, and you have heavy stainless steel frames and joints, really nice quality. All right, gonna hop back out of the boat. Factory swim platform and ladder back there as well. All the graphics look really nice. Galvanized trailer is in fantastic shape because it's a freshwater boat. So the classic Montauk, this was a 950-pound hull. So that means that's what the boat weighed dry. That's before you put any gas in it, before you put that outboard engine on the back of it, 950 pounds. Then you add whatever you got in that outboard. Let's say it's, I don't know, 350 pounds, something like that to it, and then a 400-pound trailer or something like that. Bimini top, gasoline, whatever else you might be adding. I always say that whenever we find a classic Boston Whaler and it still has the original stainless steel anchor light on it, that the boat's had a good life. Because most of the time some drunk idiot is swung around on that anchor light when the boat was at a sandbar or something and bent it or broke it. So finding one that still has that anchor light, it kind of tells a story. All right, good Lord, this is running really long. So there she is. There's our beautiful 17-foot Montauk, and we don't put prices in our videos because videos are here forever and prices might change. So look for the boat in our inventory. The price will be there, or just give us a call. We'll be happy to talk about it. Keep in mind, super duper important here, we're a different kind of boat dealer. What does that mean? Well, the primary thing about that means that we're an online boat dealer. Every boat that we sell is professionally delivered. Every single one of them. We send them all over the country. We send them all over the world. So any questions, give us a call. Stay dry and have a great evening. York County Marine.